Hello everyone, it's Professor095 back with a new video. I apologize for not uploading on Tuesday because I'm on a trip with my family. But now I'm back here right now, and tonight's Thursday, and we are going through the entire week of cards, which is a lot, I know. So grab your popcorn, I don't know, grab whatever snacks, and sit down and watch this video if you have the spare time for it. Yeah, there's a lot of cards to go through today, so let's sit on tight and get straight into the news. But before that, if you do like my content, if you like what I'm doing right here right now, please do hit like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Stay tuned for more content in the near future, and that's about it. Now, first things first. We have a new Alden, which is already reviewed in episode 7, as well as a grade 11. This is the insane moment in Vanguard, as if grade 10 is already like not insane enough, we have already like a grade 11. Alright, so technically speaking, we have like a lot of cards to go through, and yes, that's about it. Okay, now, new right line, new Vanguard. So we have a sword that connects heaven and earth, Alden. So he is a grade 3. So Bastion players or Captain players, those of you who are very familiar with Alden, now Alden is no longer, no longer, he has not no longer rear guard. So he's technically being upgraded to a Vanguard, right? So which is pretty nice. I mean, I like the art for bits, so you can see, you can enjoy a little bit of the art of new Alden over here. Now the skill, let's get straight into the skill and not waste any more time because we have like 20 cards ish to go through. This is hell. Okay, anyways, and I want to take it in one go, right? So the skill, act Vanguard once per turn, you CB1 and Soul Blast 1, Counter Blast 1 and Soul Blast 1. You choose up to one grade 3 or less card from your hand and call it the Graveyard Circle. If you call a card, you get to draw 2 cards. Similar to the old Alden, but without the Counter Blast 2. You will still have the Soul Blast 1, but this time round is a Vanguard and it's a main phase. So technically this is Pot of Greed, technically speaking, and you have to, and you can technically like draw 2 cards provided if you call a grade 3 or less card, right? So which is technically very consistent every turn, and that's pretty good, right? And the skill, when this unit attacks, if you have 3 or more rear guards with different grades, you Soul Blast 1, you choose one of your rear guards and bounce it back to your hand. Then you choose up to 2 cards from your hand with the sum of the grades being less than or equal to the original grade of the return unit, and call them to separate rear guard in the same column. So technically speaking, Alden can technically do at the minimum 4 attacks. So let's say when Alden attacks, you get to pay the cost. You Soul Blast 1, you bounce let's take a grade 3 for example, you bounce a grade 3 to your hand, then you call a grade 2 and a grade 1, right? If you bounce back a grade 2, you can bounce a grade 2, a grade 0, or you can bounce and you can call it, call 2 grade 1s out to the field as well, in the same column. So at least there's that. I know that there are some cards that can allow you to call Superior Court another card as well, so you can do like 5 attacks. But I cannot really think any cards on the top of my head. I know there are some cards that can actually like Superior Court during like the battle phase as well. But yes. At minimum, this new Alden can help you to do 4 attacks. So it's really good and it's very consistent, and you can technically do a lot of things with Alden. You can call, I don't know, you can probably call back Fossa, you can probably call out Drilling Angels, all of the, probably the most important key cards in Captain's Entry that allows you to soul charge, allows you to counter charge, to draw, etc. So with all of the very generic cards, like all the generic-ish cards that you can mix with Alden, I think it's a very good time for you to do so. You can cook something up, you can try to do whatever things that you want to play with Alden. I don't know, you can probably play Melissa or come on here with that, I don't know, who knows, right? Okay, probably not, because it requires you to have never Vanguard. But okay, that aside, you can, shelf whatever generic cards you can play with Alden, and you can just, do it with this deck. And I think this is a very, I'm pretty sure this won't be like a super meta deck, but it's a very fun deck to play with. So yes. But suggest, okay, I know that, okay, now I understand that some of the players here is complaining suggest is too expensive. Yes, I feel you, I understand. Probably some capital players, probably you might have to sacrifice not playing suggest in this deck. But yes, suggest is technically very expensive right now, so okay, anyways, it's a good card nonetheless, alright? So we're gonna have to skip card of the day at the moment. Okay, so we have the Grade 0, which is the new starter and also a new right line for Alden, technically speaking, but it's very generic. So we have the Knight of Heavenly Admired, Admis. So very generically starter skill. If you when this unit is being rolled upon, if you went second, you draw one card, so which is kind of nice. And then you have the Great One, which is Knight of Heavenly Lasting Tranquilla. When this unit is being rolled upon, you get to reveal 3 cards in your hand with different grades. So in the Alden deck, if you're going to play if you're going to play this right line, you have to you want to play this new Alden, you have to make sure your starting hand have like at least 3 different grades. So 321, 210, 312, something along those lines. Like, so as long as you have like different grades, then you're able to pop your skills. You look at the top 5 cards of your deck, you choose up to grade 1 or choose up to 1 grade 1 or lower unit card from among them. You call it to Rearguard Circle, then you shuffle a deck. And if you did not call, you can actually call this card the Rearguard Circle, which is kind of nice. And then the grade 2, Clear Sky Knight Saudius also is the same thing. So it's the same skill as Tranquilla. Then so if you did not call a card, you can call this out as well to the Rearguard Circle. And also, technically speaking, thanks to this red line, it's very generic that you can play this in like some of the decks, such as like, I don't know, Ground Grace. I think this would suit Ground Grace a lot, because technically speaking, the Ground Grace red line that is in the right deck really doesn't really suit Ground Grace at all. Because like she needs the soul. So like Ground Grace actually needs the soul, but I feel like with this right line you can technically play like a lot of Spirit Calling and you can get to rush as well. So that is also like very good, and thanks to this new right line you can probably just rush your opponent as fast as possible if you don't want to fall anything. So I think this is really good. It's a pretty good right line, not gonna lie. So you can try to experiment around, play this in whatever right line that is technically very suitable, I would say. Yeah, so probably Ground Grace players, if you are playing faster right line, you can try to ditch the Blaster right line. If you're playing like the Genesis right line, you can probably ditch that one out and probably consider playing this right line instead, right? So who knows? It might be good, it might, but you can try, right? Alright, and then we have the Great One. This one is a rare card. So this one is and it's a great one. So this is a Sage of Civilization Kiron. So when this unit is placed on the Rearguard Circle, this unit costs 2k until the end of turn. And you have the Alden unit. If you have the Alden unit, you discard 1 card from your hand, you get to counter charge 1. Now, with this new cards in mind, it's also important to mention that Alden does not, this so-called Alden unit doesn't have to specify if it's the Vanguard or the Rearguard. It props on both. So if you have the Alden Vanguard, it props. If you have the Alden Rearguard, it also props as well. So technically, it's a very good card to play inside the new Alden, technically speaking. But you can also consider playing this in Bastion. You can play this in Bastion and Court, who knows. If you find that like some of the cards in Bastion and Court is kind of like super expensive, like Suggest and the Owl and whatever it is, so the content charger is very good and it's pretty welcome. So that's pretty nice. And then we have Sharpness Knight Era. So this is a grade 2 and it's a rare card. And this unit is placed on Rearguard Circle. If you have a unit with Alden in its card name, this unit plus 5k until the end of turn. And if you have this card is called by a card ability, this unit gets 15k instead of 5k, right? So which is very good. So if you normal call it, it's gonna be like a 15k attacker. Yeah, but if it's placed by a card's ability by, I don't know, something like a Drilling Angel, something like Alden or etc., he's gonna be a 25k attacker, which is pretty strong, not gonna lie, for a very good card as well. So you can put this like in a lot of good cards that helps you to spray call, and you can call this one out, so which is pretty good. It's a very good card to play, not gonna lie. Okay, and after that we have Clear Skies Dragon, like Leeds Dragon, which we seen in the anime. So this is a grade 3 in a double rare, and technically is an Alden support. So yes, provided you know, continuous, the first skill is like continuous regards support. If you have an Alden Vanguard, Alden unit card with Alden, this unit gets boost. So you can play this in Bastion, perhaps, who knows, okay? When this unit attacks, or at the end of the battle that this unit attacks or boosted, you shove one rearguard in the same column as this unit into your soul, and choose one of your Alden units plus 10k power. So which is really good, in a sense that you can buff up your Aldens, and not to mention that you can, you know, clear up your space for like spear calling as well. Technically speaking, if you want to cook harder for captain players, if you really want to cook something wacky, you can probably play this card with the old Alden in Ezel. Of course, mind your counter blast, because I feel like Ezel is a little bit counter blast heavy, but I think he's to run that is not a problem. So maybe you can do that. You have to start experimenting. I'm not gonna like tell you what to do, but I feel like this could be a very wacky, crazy idea that you can put out there. So, and not to mention, it's because you can clear out the field and you can get to, you know, clear out your front rows just for Ezel's skill, you know. So I think that's a very good card. Now this will be interesting because finally Cactus Entry gets a Dragon Tree badge for the, you know, Dragon Tree searcher marker, you know, mask searcher, right? So we have Ryujin Rakuin, Jira Deshizu. So in the English one it's called Gila Daishach or something like that. So very generic Dragon Tree marker skill, counter blast 1, soul blast 1. When placed on rearguard circle, you put one Dragon Tree marker on a rearguard circle without a Dragon Tree marker, and then after that you switch your deck for up to one Mask of Hydreigon, and then you should kill that, right? So this card actually gets me pretty excited because like Captain finally has its mask searcher, but who's gonna be the mask? Who's gonna be the one? You know, the mask in Captain? We probably have no idea. Probably it's gonna be Alden, probably it's gonna be not. But I have a feeling that in this similar set as well, we're gonna have a Dragon Empire, Dragon Tree Searcher, which is also really exciting to see as well. And also begs the question, who's gonna get like a grade 3, you know, a Dragon Tree, you know, the mask actually for Dragon Empire. So we have to stay tuned and have a look around. Who knows? Okay, it could be Bastion mask, but I don't think that's gonna be the case since Bastion and God gets a new card here. But I don't think it's gonna be like what lah. I think it's gonna be Alden mask probably, but we'll see. Right now, this is another interesting generic card flying like floating around. Because last 2 weeks, Brungate actually gets a similar card similar to this. So it's technically a card that you cannot write upon. Has a 15k bet. You cannot write this card. It has a 15k base, and you cannot be normal called to a rearguard circle without a Dragon Tree marker on it. So technically speaking, you have to, you know, put this card on a Dragon Tree marker. And so that's the first continuous skill. The second continuous skill is that during the turn, this unit gets 2k for each Dragon Tree marker on the rearguard circle. So if you have like say 5 of them, it's gonna get a 10k buff, so it's gonna be like 5k. And also the third skill, continuous rearguard during your turn, basically gets 2k for each of the rearguards, right? So including himself. So let's say 5 times 2 is gonna be like 10k. So if you combine the second skill and the third skill together to 10k, it's gonna be like 35k. And then if he's on a Dragon Tree marker, he's gonna be like a 40k attacker. So which is like pretty, he can reach like big numbers with this. This boy can reach big numbers, right? Inhumane Dragon, that's one. So Dark States, we get another one like the day before. Did get another one the day before, so that's pretty interesting. And I think that you can technically play this like in before Kira and you know whatsoever. But yes, I don't think you will have any other space that actually play cards like this. I mean like because like Office Maskers did have that one Dragon Tree marker to like last time. Then like the Office Maskers and Dragon Tree marker, then you can play this the similar grade 3 generic, I don't know, Dragon Tree Marker generic-ish cards, the same levels of that, those kind of cards, right? But yeah, Grifo Gira I think will be the most, the most suitable deck to play around with this one, because you have like you can generate a lot of Dragon Tree Markers, and you can fill up the board as well, depending on whatever it is. And this will be the most this is insanity personified, because as if grade 10 is already not enough, we actually have like a grade 11 card. So we have Supreme Dragon Tree of Annihilation, Grifo Gira Vortex. In Japanese it's called Metsuji no Haryuju Grifo Gira Vortex. So it is a grade 11, it is a triple rare, and I need you to notice that this card does not have Persona, right? So please, if you see people writing on the same card as this card and activate Persona, right, tell them it's not a Persona, right? Because it does not have a Persona, right, icon, alright? Okay, so when this unit is placed by riding, you put one Grifo as eschatology token to your order zone. So it is a token card that you set to your order zone, which we will get into, okay? Second skill, Auto Vanguard. During your turn, this unit gets plus 10k plus 1 crit, okay? So he's going to be a consistent 28 attacker double crit, similar to the old Grifo Gira, where but the old Grifo Gira I think it's an upgrade of the old Grifo Gira, because like the old Grifo Gira has to be very dependent on how many you need to at least have 3 Dragon Tree Markers on your field to get the additional crit, and plus 5k for each of your Dragon Tree Markers. So if you have like 5 Dragon Tree Markers, it's gonna get like 15. 25. So Grifo Gira, like old Grifo Giras can swing for 38k double crit, right? So but this one is also can swing for also for 38k double crit, thanks to the other skill as well, which is the next skill. Continuous Vanguard Circle. If you have a total of 10 or more Hydreigon and or Dragon Tree Markers on your Vanguard Circle, this unit plus 10k as well, which also applies on your opponent's turn. So as long as you have 10 total cards of 10 Dragon Tree Markers and Hydreigon units like Death Elwiller, who else, like Bisthauser, who else, Skullcamda, Demonstrator. If you're playing like a full Grifo Gira deck, you have to at least have 5 Dragon Tree Markers or probably more, and you can have a mix of match of each, right? So you have like 3 Hydreigon units and play 7 and have 7 Dragon Tree Markers on the field, or you have like 4 Hydreigon units on your rear guard circle, and then you have like 6 Dragon Tree Markers on your field, which is possible because thanks to the Blitz order that Hydreigon, Grifo Gira gets on set 11 if I'm not mistaken, and then there's the order card which will also activate some of the skills as well, to set another Dragon Tree Marker, which we'll get into. And also not only that, this is going to be a 38k double crit on your turn as well. It also applies to your opponent's turn, but during your opponent's turn this will be a 28k. So technically speaking, this is Gize in D, but more crazier because this is a grade 11. So we are seeing insanity, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. And so the last skill, Auto Vanguard once per turn. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, you choose one face-up Calamity card from your right deck and remove it. If you did not remove a card, you choose one trigger unit from your right deck, reveal it. Then you activate all of the trigger effects and additional effects, remove it, and stand all of your rear guards on your RCs with Dragon Tree Markers on that. So technically speaking, you will also play back the same. It has the same effect as the old Grifo Gira, where you can technically just remove when he attacks and just remove the right Calamity card from your right deck. And if you did not remove, you can just activate your OTs, right? So it's the same skill as the Grifo Gira as well. And also you get then you get to restand all of your Vanguard circles with Dragon Tree Markers on them, so which is pretty good. Now, and this is the very, very interesting card. So this is Grifo Eschatology. I don't read the kanji, I don't know how to read this kanji, Ryuju whatsoever. Tenchi Shuen, probably that's how it's supposed to be. And since this is a set, it is both a token unit and also you can place it in the set order. So of course, naturally, the skill is that you cannot place this card in your main deck. So order zone, the skill is that in the order zone, at the beginning of your main phase, you search your deck for up to 1 trigger, and then you put it into your right deck face up, and then you shuffle your deck. If you do, you choose up to 1 Hydreigon from your drop zone and call it to a rearguard circle, right? So that is what you can do with that, because you can call like a Dragon Tree marker, like not Dragon Tree marker, you can call it like a Hydreigon. If you're playing like the story here, you can call Death Love and Fifth Albus. So such as such. Depending on the nations that you're playing, they know Hydreigons and whatnot, okay? And so then the second skill is the order zone. This technically the second skill, alright. In your order zone, you may discard Grifogira from your hand, then you draw 1 card, then you choose up to 1 card from, you draw 1, and then you get to place 1 Dragon Tree marker. You can technically place 1 Dragon Tree marker on one of your rearguard circles, because this time round, the most interesting part is that like this time round, it doesn't have to be like without a Dragon Tree marker on your RCs, like your Mass Searchers and great ones, like Demon Readers and Beast Albus. With this skill, you can actually like place another Dragon Tree marker on another rearguard circle with existing Dragon Tree markers, which in turn helps you to boost with like Grifogra's Vortex skill as well, to get the additional effect of like 10k as well, which also applies to your turn and to your opponent's turn. And not to mention that you can put the top card of your deck face down, and then you can remove 1 of your Calamity cards in your right deck, right? From your right deck. So what this card actually does is that you can help to boost, speed up your Grifogra's like OT force OT turn, probably 1 turn faster or 2 times faster if you can survive long enough. You can able to control your damage with Grifogira. So yeah, I think that's like pretty good for Grifogira this time round. It's like super nice, and I have a feeling that Grifogira could be. Would it be faster? I want to see it. It's gonna be like it's not gonna be like a turn 6, turn 7 deck. I hope it's gonna be like a turn 5 deck if you're very fast enough, right? So I think this is a very nice card. Not gonna lie, but of course, mind you, you have to deal damage to your own. So face down. So that's not a face up card, okay? So that's about it. And that concludes Tuesday stream. So next week, which is next Tuesday, we review new cards that will appear in episode 8 of the anime. So will Bastion get new support? Will Zorga gets new support? We'll have to see, but probably will be. Okay, and that's that. Alright, then after that, we can get straight into and that's what I said just now. So like say Stelmist Dragon also have this kind of like Dragon Tree generic skill, during a turn plus 2k on your Dragon Tree markers, but this time round, the third skill is that during a turn, this unit plus 2k for every 3 cards in your soul. So if you have like how many, like 4, like you have 12 cards, this is gonna get like 8k if I'm not mistaken, because like every 3 cards, so if like 12 divided by 3, so that's like 4 times, so plus 2k is gonna be like 8, so it's gonna be like 23. If you have a 5 Dragon Tree markers, it's gonna be 33, and then if you have like if this unit is on a Dragon Tree marker, it's gonna be 38k, so which is kind of like insane. So you can play this like, in technically speaking, the best case scenario will be in the Grifogira deck as well. And that's about it. Alright, anyways, we're gonna get to tonight's stream, which is gonna be really exciting, technically speaking. So we have Fennel. We're not gonna go to Fennel first of all. We're gonna have to go straight into the starters, technically speaking. Hop and Step Fennel. So it is a War Beast, so it is Lyrical Monasterio cards this time around for tonight. We're gonna introduce a new right line for tonight. Technically speaking, it's called Fennel. So generic when starter skill for Vanguard, when being rolled upon, it prevents and then you can draw 1, so that's really good. And then after that, you can have the great, then you move on to the great one. Where's my unique charm, Fennel? When this unit is placed by riding grade 0, you look at the top 7 cards of your hand of your deck. You choose up to 2 trick or treat from among them, reveal them and add into an end, then you shuffle your deck. Now, trick and treat, technically speaking, this is very nice art, alright? Okay, now trick and treat is technically an order card which has two illustrations. So this will be the first illustration. So that's it. Now this is a very interesting order card just to say. So this is a grade 1 card and it's a common card, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it is a common card, right? And you can play up to 16 copies of this trick and treat in your deck. So technically speaking, it's like Gravidia, in which you can play up to like 16 meteorites, of the grade 1. And in a similar manner, Fennel will be playing like 16 order cards in your you can run up to like 16 copies of trick and treat in your deck. Well, of course, you're not gonna run that much, so probably you can run around like 7 or 8, depending on your ratios, okay? You can play this card if you have a Vanguard with Fennel in this card name. So sorry, other red line decks, you cannot play this trick and treat card because you need to have a Fennel Vanguard, right? Perform one of the following below according to how many times you play a card with the same name as this card during this turn. Okay, so if you play 1 time, your opponent choose one of the real cards and they put it at the bottom of your deck. If there's no card to put it, you draw a card. If you play 2 times, you draw 1 card and get the counter charge 1, so which is super nice. And if you play 3 times, you choose up to 1 grade 3 or less card from your drop zone and call it to rearguard circle, right? So which is technically speaking, you can play a lot. Of this trick and treat order cards. So you can technically, if you play 3 times in 1 turn, you can draw 2, you can CC 1, you can spear call. So which is super nice, right? Very scary for Fennel. So that's it. And then her regular small Fennel, and then the skill, when this unit is placed by riding from a grade 1, you look at the top 7, you choose up to 2 trick and treat all the cards from among them, reveal it, add to your hand, then you shuffle your deck. Very simple as that. So that's that. And then after that, this will be very interesting. So we have triple trick Fennel. Okay, so this is a lyrical monasterial war piece. Okay, of course. So yes, the skill is that continuous Vanguard during this turn. You may play up to 3. You can play 3 orders, and you cannot play orders that are neither trick or treat nor regalis piece. Okay, so just to help you to to make things simple, you cannot play regalis piece in this deck. Okay, you cannot play like the Forbido Surrogate. You cannot play the gratis Gradel. The only order cards that you are allowed to play are the trick and treat order cards, and you can play a total of up to 3 of them in 1 turn as well. Okay, so that's the first continuous skill. Second skill, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, no, it doesn't need to be attacked with a Vanguard, right? When this unit attacks, if you play an order card 3 or more times during this turn, you counter +1. You will choose one of your rear guards, and until the end of turn, that unit and this unit gets +1 crit, and all of your units in your front row plus 2k for each trick and trait in your drop zone. So which is very nice, because let's say for example, if you play 3 in 1 turn, it's gonna be like 6k to your front row. You choose like Fennel and your other Regard gets another crit, so she's gonna swing like 19k, 2 crit at the bare minimum, so which is super nice. And not to mention, the longer that you can play this kind of like order cards. Let's say next turn you have 6 order cards in your drop zone, so 6 times 2 is gonna be like 22. 6 times 2 is 12. If you add the persona, right, it's gonna be like 22. Fennel is gonna be like on her own, she's gonna be like 35k double crit. So the more that you drag longer as this game, I think like Fennel will get stronger with every turn with like the more orders that she plays. I say this is a very nice deck to play, but granted, a very nice deck to work around, but granted, you have to be very consistent with your ratios, because like Gravidia, you have to like shove in as a lot of like meteorite cards in the same manner that you probably need to shove like a very proper amount of like trick or treat cards at the order cards for you to like play until you win. So you have to be very considerate of your ratios. But that is that is not to be concerned because we have the new grade 2 this time around, which is technically a double rare for Fennel. Okay, so her name is Haunted Spot Aristina. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle during your main phase, if you play an auto card a total of 3 or more during this time, during this turn, you soul blast one, you choose a normal unit card with a different card name as this unit from your drop zone and you call it the rearguard circle, which is kind of nice because you can cap those rear call, rearguard from your drop zone to rearguard circle, so you can call like, I don't know, the recyclers, or maybe you can, I don't know, call out some of your generic cards. I don't know, you want to play Eureka, go ahead. But you can call like some of the very important grade 2 cards in the deck as well. So yes, that's kind of good. After that, when this unit attacks, hits a Vanguard, you search your deck for up to 1 trick or treat, you reveal it and add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So pretty nice. Helps you to find another trick or treat, helps you to square call another Vanguard. So that's also one thing. And then last but not least, no, you still have another 2 more cards to go actually speaking. And then this would be the one Night Witch Spreadia. So it's a Dragoroid, and her skill is technically the same as like Latifa, technically speaking, like the Latifa codes, the ones that you play, the ones in BT11 if I'm not mistaken, or BT12, BT11 technically speaking, right, or BT10. I mean, it's BT11, okay, not BT10. Right, where the skill is that when you place on the rearguard circle other by than a unit card effect, if you play a normal order during this turn, you soul blast one, you go to the top 5, you choose up to one grade less or equal to your Vanguard grade, you reveal it, call it to rearguard circle if it's a unit card, and add it to your hand. If it's a normal order, then you shuffle your deck. Okay, so it's the same pattern with Latifa as well, and the other of the same, the angel, the captain one, the angel, etc. Right? So I don't remember the names, but the only ones that I remember the most was Latifa because it's been played a lot with Vermilion, so that's why I remember actually. So the second skill is that when this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, if this unit was placed during this turn, you cover blast one, draw one card, and this unit costs anything until the end of the turn. Now, not only that she is a 20k attacker, she allows you to draw one card for like one counter blast as well. And I have a feeling, that's gonna be like run a lot in like Fennel decks or some other decks that requires like a lot of like normal orders. For example, Kyoka Magazine, that would be very important as well. Fennel, not to mention, which is pretty obvious. Put in trick or treat. Curse Order, probably Lutetia is also very nice to play this card as well. But you have to be very careful because this is going to be a rather generic card. So it's going to be very, very expensive. So Lyrical Monastera players, please, your wallet is about to die, so please pre-order as fast as possible, as much as you can. I don't know, because I have a feeling that this card is probably gonna be played a lot in a lot of decks, right? If it's a normal order, then you of course you can put it in your hand. Of course, you're not gonna play this in like Laurel Nero. I don't think Laurel Nero would be nice, but you can play this in Clarissa. You can play this in what else? Clarissa. Willista. Yeah, Willista is also like a normal order as well. So that is like super insane how generic this card is supposed to be. So it's gonna be, that this card is gonna be a very, very expensive card to play. So lyrical players, your wallet's about to die. Please, pre-order this card before it's gonna get released because it's gonna be super, super important. Okay. Now this will be the alternate art for the panel for like the trick or treat cards. So we have like 2 alternate arts for like 2 arts. So we have this art and then you have the other art like this one with this. And then after that, last but not least, we have Prank Exploder Crispina, very crispy, okay. She is a triple rare, okay, and her skill, if she's a human, okay. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, you counter the +1 and you search your deck or your drop zone for up to 1 trick or treat and put it search for your deck or drop zone for up to 1 trick or treat. Then add it to your hand. If you search from your deck, then you have to shuffle your deck, obviously. And then during this turn, second skill, rearguard continuous. During this turn, if you have a 3 or more trick or treat in your drop zone, this unit gets 5k until the end of turn. So she's a 13k booster, she's a 13k attacker, and she allows you to recycle all of your trick and treat, not only from the you can filter out your trick or treats here like from the deck, or you can recycle your trick and treat orders from like your drop zone, so which is pretty good as well. So just for Fennel to not run out on on her orders every time you play her like during your turn. So it will be best that if you can play 3, play 3 at least up to 3 orders in one turn. So in order for her to get the crit and the front row power ups as well. So which is pretty good. Alright. So that's that. Next Thursday, we have the Fun Dream Mind Go collab cards and triggers from the BT13. Now this is very nice, and not to mention, it's gonna be about due time that we're gonna get like new triggers. Now I expect it's gonna be like vanilla triggers, because they didn't really like announce like we're gonna have like reprint like effect triggers. So I think it will be normal triggers this time round. The last reprint of like new triggers that we get was from set 6. So I think 7 sets later, I think it's about due time that we get like a new set of trigger effects. Unlike like that new set of like normal triggers, vanilla triggers in general. So yes, I am looking forward to that. And as time progresses, as this game progresses more and more, we really need more options for trigger cards as well, because like triggers are very hard. Vanilla triggers especially are very hard to find right now. I mean, based on like a lot of like my I think it's an observation, based on like all of the things that we can understand and we know and understand. There's abundance of fronts and there's abundance of heals, which is probably fronts. You could argue that people will play vanilla fronts, but nobody plays vanilla drills. Okay, heals definitely a lot of people are looking for them, but I feel like crits and heals are the most sought vanilla triggers for every nation in this game right now at this very moment. So for them to have to come out new vanilla triggers, hopefully if it's effect trigger, it's gonna be much better, right? Okay, but I'm asking too much, but I feel like vanilla triggers would be the big thing, so which we're gonna see like next Thursday. I'm hopefully for a Dark States player like me and like a Gear Chronicle like me, I'm hoping that they will be reprinting Gear Chronicle aesthetics levels of effect like vanilla triggers, right? So we know that like Stem Deviant is a Gear Chronicle aesthetic. The Steam aspect one heal from BT1 that is also like have a Gear Chronicle aesthetic. We have advanced speed clock tracker kit is a draw trigger vanilla, and then we have a Steam Gunner or Steam Maiden whatsoever in a front trigger. It's a front trigger vanilla front. So technically we have 4 of them, but I think the more aesthetic Gear Chronicle aesthetics in the vanilla effect, I think it will be much better. Now one man can hope. So that's about it. Alright, anyways, I hope I didn't left out anything, but judging by everything I've gone through, I think this will be it. Now it's been 38 minutes. Okay, I'm hopefully I'm excited for the new cards coming in for Fennel. I think Fennel will be a very interesting deck to try, and so is Alden. I would say it's a very exciting times to look forward to, especially when it comes to the new Youth Berg, new Zoka. I don't know if we have new Zoka, but I probably think it might not be. Who knows? Okay, so we have to keep our expectations mid, not too high, not too low, but probably we might expect something out from this week's episode. So I think I've been talking for like about 40 minutes, almost 40 minutes. I think I'll end this video right here, right now. So I just don't want to drag everybody's time looking and listening to me ranting. And I will end this video right now. And if you do like the coverage for this week's stream news review, please do like and subscribe once again. And stay tuned, and I'll see you guys next time. This has been Professor 095 second.